Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Red Divide, the greatest rivalry between Liverpool and Man United. Joining me today in the studio is Mark, my cousin, unfortunately, the Man United fan. But without our rivalry, this wouldn't be possible. Mark, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Yeah, it's good to be back in the States. I had an eventful trip to the UK, as you know. Um, if
Indeed.
you had a chance to watch the video, you'd see how much fun I had and how much frustration I went through. It was interesting, but it was so much fun. It was amazing. Great experience as always. Whenever going to a match day, as you know. It's great. It was amazing and very blessed, very lucky, and was very happy to be there. Thanks again to Dims for the invitation. Come and watch the game. It was amazing. So yeah, thanks to Dimitri. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
I think he definitely enjoyed that game more than you,
that. How could you
especially
not, right?
especially with the result, right? Winning it right at the end. I can imagine how
Yeah,
gutted you were. Although silently I was quite happy, as was the others.
of course you were.
But yeah, I take my hat off to you. Sneaking into the stadium as a Man United fan, sitting with the Arsenal fans, must have been very difficult and frustrating for you. Like showing no emotions when Man United score, and then obviously going on and Garnacho scoring in the 85th minute, thinking you won the game, only for the goal to be ruled offside, and then they go and steal the winner in extra time. That Talk me through it. That must have been incredibly frustrating for you.
So I thought I had put that away and buried it, but thanks for reminding me.
I'm here all day.
Oh, I can always rely on you, my cousin. Thank you. Yeah, so it was, it was a great game, and of course I predicted 1-1. So they had that penalty shout. Ref went to the VAR, saw that it was more of a dive, ruled that out. I thought, okay, cool. That doesn't happen very often. That you turn a penalty over. So I was like, great.
Yeah.
And Arsenal was still the better team at home, and you're always going to give when it comes to the big games, the home team is always the favourite. So they were
Yeah.
confident and they were going for it. And yeah, to see us on the break go for it, Garnacho put that away like that. I almost, I almost jumped up celebrating, for a split second, and then I remembered where I am, remember my surroundings, and I was like,
Surroundings.
oh, I'm a little bit outnumbered. Yeah, there's only probably 20,000 Arsenal fans around me. Um, so I just kept the video going of the goal. Well, I actually missed it. If you watch the video, I got so
Yeah, I
excited.
saw you got so excited you forgot to
Anyway, so I
record.
quickly put it back on and watched watched the VAR and watched the players celebrate. And deep inside, I'm so happy, and I'm looking at the crowd, the MU, all the United fans in the corner there celebrating. And I'm thinking, I wish I could celebrate with you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but that was short lived. Of course, VAR struck that down, and there's still all this talk of bad angles and whatnot, but whatever, man. You win some, you lose some. We know, and we've spoken about this before.
Yeah.
VAR is not consistent. Whether it was right or wrong, it's not consistent. Some calls are ridiculous, some calls are fair, but it still almost comes down to, human error, who's drawing the lines, and even on fouls, who's calling the foul, who's behind it. It's still through the ref's eyes or third officials' eyes on what they feel is the right call. So you win some, you lose some. Unfortunately, it was ruled out. So I was like, okay, this game's going 1-1. Win 90 minutes was 1-1. And yeah, poor defending. But if you watch it, the whole game, we weren't doing much at the back post.
Yeah,
And
I saw that.
in the past, Wan-Bissaka is not the best defender at the back post, which is strange because he's such a good defender one-on-one. But from set pieces or corners, he's not the best in the air, and he's not too good on the back post. So ball came in, Rice pretty much wide open, took a shot, and yeah, it went off Johnny Evans. It looked like slight deflection in. But if he
Yeah.
wasn't there, Maguire was standing right behind him, and it would have hit Maguire and gone in. I'm just like those two. Those two are each other reincarnated. Those two could have been twins. Like I've never been a fan of Johnny Evans, and he served our club well, but yeah, he's always got a mistake in him, and he's very clumsy. Reminds me a bit of Phil Jones, but more of Maguire, and we now have two of them. So I'm impressed, but I think we're dealing with FFP, and we can't spend too big at the moment. So
Yeah,
take what you can. He's an experienced Premier League player, has been for many years, so you get him for free. I understand the logic, but it's not the quality that we want or need. Yeah, and then they scored that, and I thought, okay, this sucks. This is terrible, but just keep cool. There's still I don't know. There's still 4 or 5 minutes of extra time left out of the 8 that was given. Let's go, boys. Push on and hopefully get an equaliser. And yeah, we just pushed far forward and got caught out. And Jesus sent Delo to the corner shop. I think
sliding across.
he's still buying bread and milk at the corner shop, and yeah, he slotted the third goal, and that was that. Fortunately, then the stadium went crazy. Like
Yeah,
that was an experience because I was so livid, I was so angry, and everyone around me so happy. Such a
everyone's
contrast,
celebrating, and deep down you like gutted, but you need to try
yeah.
and show face
So that I'm not
and
not not
knowledge.
angry or anything, and yeah, it's some some acting over there just to be cool. But yeah, it was tough to see, and that was pretty much the final whistle. After that, it was done. A couple minutes later, and Dimitri broke out into his dancing, as you saw, and he's
Yeah,
singing.
I saw.
He couldn't be happier. He said it was one of the best games he's ever seen there. He goes often, but when a game ends like that, and you're the home team, and you win like that in extra time, you beat one of your major rivals. Yeah, it's going to be an amazing feeling. So
Yeah.
sucks for me, but good for him, and we move on. We look forward, and we should just happy that the international break's over. Yeah,
Well, yeah. International break, I think, came at a good time for you because you guys were struggling a little bit in the past 4 games.
yeah.
Um, not really hitting the floor running. You also had a couple of injuries. But yeah, talking about international breaks, it's been kind of terrible without having the Premier League on. Watching our teams, our dedicated teams. But just touching on the international break, the talking point that I wanted to bring to you was the Portugal game. Did you see the result?
How could I miss it? Almost double figures.
Man, I tell you what, that game was incredible. We
Just
actually
remind us
played
who was the
really,
man of the
really
match
well.
there.
Pardon?
Remind us who was the man of the match.
I don't want to say it. I want to say it was Jota because he bagged 2 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Fernandez. There's no doubting the boy's talented. He's extremely creative. He's got such vision, but he's a crybaby. He falls on the floor and he acts up, and that's not you. That's not what you want young footballers to learn. And for me, his talent is immense. But those little antics, for me, it's bullshit. I don't like it. As a
But
club
that's
player,
I agree. I agree. I don't like it at all because rugby players don't cry about any little touch, but it's part of the game
right?
because if you can win a free kick or you can get a guy a yellow card and then put him under pressure to that he doesn't get sent off against chess, right? You're trying to put people under pressure and so on. It's not nice to see, but it is effective. It does work. And you also
Yeah,
put the ref under pressure because he's like, geez, this guy's constantly in my face that I'm not giving a foul and maybe I'm supposed to give a foul. And I get it. It's not nice to see, but I think in the end of the day, it plays its part and it's effective. It's big in other leagues around Europe. It's big in Portugal, big in Italy. It's normal. Spain. These things happen in those leagues, and it's not normal in the league that we watch the most in the Premier League. But
right.
I think it's part of the game now, and yeah, I don't know what to say. Ronaldo used to be the same when he was a kid. He would fall over for any little thing, and people would hate it, and so on. And yeah, it's part of the Portuguese game or the European game, should I say? And
Yes, well,
it's normal. But as you said, he's very effective. He's very very attacking.
creative.
Man's got
Yeah,
an eye for goal, eye for a pass.
definitely.
He's fantastic, and I'm not taking any credit that United have turned him into this because he was amazing in Sporting too. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
great that he plays for United and he's our captain, so I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, of course. You can't overshadow his talent. His talent, it speaks for himself. What he does on the football pitch creatively is immense. A lot of people agree with me. The play acting, trying to get people booked.
Sure, it's not
For
nice to
me,
see.
we've spoken about it before. It's horrible. It's not nice to see. It's teaching young footballers, bad
The wrong
habits.
way.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not the type of role model young
Sure.
footballers should be looking up to. But other than that, I think he actually had a good game for Portugal. Um, tops with Ronaldo being suspended and not playing. It
I
gave
didn't
a
actually know
chance
why
for
he didn't
him.
play. So he was suspended.
Yeah, accumulating yellow cards.
Well,
It
you
gave a
know, my thoughts
chance.
on Ronaldo, so I'm pretty happy that he didn't play and Portugal killed it. So it just
Well, if
shows that they
Ronaldo
don't need
played, we
Ronaldo.
probably would have scored 13 or 14. So
Well, probably missed. He would have tried to take too many shots on himself instead of passing, and it would have only been five.
yeah, you have a point there. He's trying to break records before he
Yeah,
retires.
just all about me. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I tell you what, when he signed for Man United, you couldn't say any better than what he was, right? You were so happy, Ronnie's back, CR7, back at the best club in the world. And then obviously the way things ended when he was leaving, you weren't singing the same tune, were you?
that's not true. Remember in our fantasy group, Oni was giving me gears because I was telling him that number one, I don't like him because he left us in his prime. Number two, he's now was going to sign for City, and I was like, dude, this guy wanted me to dislike him anymore. He's doing the right thing. Not that matters what I think about him, but
No.
just my personal thoughts. And they're like, what do you mean? He's one of your best players. I'm like, at the time, he was one of our best players, but he left us to go, and good for him to go achieve his dream of playing for Madrid. But all
He
I care
left.
about is United. I don't care about Real Madrid. I don't care about anything. My team is the best in the world in my eyes. You should want to play for my team forever. That's a typical fan. But so when he left, I was like, nah, I'm tired of this guy. I don't want to see him, follow him. When Madrid would play in the semis or quarters or finals, I would always root against him just because of Ronaldo. That's all. And then sometimes because of Ramos and Pepe, because two filthy players. But mostly in the beginning, it was all about Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I don't want him to win a thing, but he went on to win everything inside. So good for him.
Well, he made
Um,
a good career choice, leaving a mediocre football team in England
in
to
Sporting,
go and
yeah,
win
you're right.
almost every single title in Spain, right?
He won everything at United, my friend. Don't forget that. Everything.
His heart, Fergie didn't want him to go, but he left in his prime and went to go and break records.
He broke
The
records
best
at
thing,
United too. Good
best
for
thing
him.
that ever happened to Real Madrid was Ronaldo in his prime.
Best thing to happen to Real Madrid and Ronaldo, possibly.
In his prime, but
Yeah, he
listen,
was
you
a
can't
best
take
player.
you can't take anything away from the players that were
Right.
around him, giving him the balls to score. Of course, football isn't just a one man game. I think in his prime he was the best in the world, in my opinion.
Sure.
Coming towards the end of his career now, he's made a switch to the Saudi Pro League. He was the poster boy. He opened the floodgates for all of these footballers from all leagues that have flooded in the past transfer window. Um, yeah, you know what? His career speaks for itself.
Well, amazing.
And
You can't knock it. He's done amazingly well.
yeah,
I don't like obviously because he left us, and I don't like that it's all about him. I think he's a very selfish player, but doesn't matter. That's how the best become the best. I think. Although Messi, I think, seems to be more about a team player than just personal accolades and all about me. And that's why I think a lot of people lean towards Messi because he can do anything, but he can
yeah.
also help his
Except
team
for score
in
with a
its.
head.
But he scored twice. He scored against United in the Champions League final with his head, Marcus. Never forget that. I got Rio Ferdinand and Vidic, and here comes little Messi, whatever he is, 5 foot something, 8 or whatever he is, bang with the head. I'm like, how did that dude get to
It's
the
easy
ball
to
before you
score.
and before Rio and Vidic?
Well, there you go. It's easy to score
Masterful.
against United. Even a midget like Messi can score against United with the head. You know what I mean? It is what it
Sure,
is.
sure. Don't forget that was United was smashing everything in sight, my friend. But we
Yeah, I
got the
remember.
doubles, we got it all. Liverpool couldn't live with us, so let's not talk about United there.
Yeah, that's when Fergie came in and knocked Liverpool off their perch in the
Correct.
'90s and early 2000s. I know it all too well. It was very painful for me. You lived through it with me, so you know what I went through. I saw you
Happy days. It
go.
was all good.
Yeah,
What are you talking
exactly.
about? It
Happy
was
days
great.
for you, not so happy days for me. So it's good to see how things have turned over now. Since Fergie left, you guys have become a mediocre club. You've
Easy.
had more managers than what you've won trophies. So yeah, happy for me and not so happy for you.
Oh my gosh. It might be accurate. I think we won what? Carling Cup, FA Cup, Europa Cup. Yeah, that's three off the top of my head. And
So what did you have? You had Moyles, you had Van Gaal, you had Mourinho,
Mourinho,
you
Oli,
had Solskjaer, you had this Ragnar, and now you got Ten
Rangnick,
Hag.
and Hatzenog. So yeah, we're like Chelsea. We have more managers than trophies.
That's
Of late.
terrible for you. Good for
Yeah.
me.
But that just proves it. Managers need time, right? The right person
They
needs
do.
time.
They do,
Klopp
for
got
sure.
given time. He made it to what, four finals and lost all of them. But
Yeah.
given time. Arteta at Arsenal finished eighth, then finished eighth again, then finished fifth, and then had a run at the title last season. So you need time.
Yeah.
So Ten Hag had one season, he finished third. Fantastic. I think that outdoes most of the other managers in their first career. Pep, Jurgen, Arteta. So that's fantastic. But difficult to compare different times, different squads. So, but is what it is, and now we'll see what happens this year. We've lost two games already, which isn't great, and yeah, we carry on. I'm just glad internationals are over. The Premier League's back, baby. Let's rock and roll.
For sure. So let's touch base on our games for the weekend. I see Man United's got a couple of injuries at home to Brighton. Tough game.
Tough game. You can say that again. If it was away, I'd be really worried. Thank God it's at Old Trafford, so I'm a little bit more confident that we'd actually get a result. But it's Brighton. Brighton are amazing. Brighton can come there and do a job on us. Quick sticks.
Yeah.
But I think Ten Hag is going to drill the boys into all sorts of discipline and tactics before we get into the game. And I think that we'll be okay. I think we'll do it right.
So
It's going to be tough because we still have Varane out. Martinez is touch and go. He may or may not play. Shaw's still out, so is Malacia. So hopefully Reguilon gets a start.
yeah,
Um,
Mount is out.
and Mount is still out. So and we have at least we have Amrabat in now. So whether it's Amrabat and Casemiro and Bruno, or if Eriksen continues that role, whichever. And then Hoyland, I think Hoyland needs to start. Played for his country, scored a goal, awesome. Um, as we know, he does so well for his country. Now it's time to see if he can do it at United.
So one player that definitely won't feature is Anthony. What's going on at Man United with all these allegations of wife beaters? First Greenwood, now Anthony. What's happening, my cuz?
I don't have words. I don't know what to say. I'm like, really, boys, we don't need any more drama and attention on the club for negative reasons. And it's if it's not, it was Giggs who left, and later it came out there was issues with his brother and his brother's wife and whatnot. And then it was Mason Greenwood. Come out that okay, cool. They dropped the charges, but everybody saw the photos and voice recordings. So make up your own mind. You know what you do about
Yeah.
the player. Um, and he's a great player, but the allegations are there and there's stuff there. Anthony, I'm just like I don't know what to say. I saw there's some released scripts of his phone calls with some of these girls and scripts between the ex girlfriends, and almost I didn't go into it, but I saw something along the lines of they set up this whole thing to just an ex girlfriend just wanting to ruin his life or his career because whatever they didn't work out, or maybe he wasn't the best boyfriend. So I don't know. But apparently it's been a setup. So hopefully that gets proven and it's true if it is true, and he gets through that and we get back to football. If he's guilty, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, whatever. Just want to get back to football. That's all I want to do.
I tell you, at the rate that you're going, your name's going to change from Man United FC to Wife Beater FC.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know what to say, man. Jeez. So anyway, let's change the subject quick. Tell us about Liverpool and the injuries, Kazi. Yeah, Trent and Nunes might not start or
Yeah.
might not play this week.
Yeah, so we also have a couple of injury concerns. Most notably is Trent, who has got a hamstring problem. He had a couple of scans after the game, and They said that it's nothing serious. He just needed a couple of weeks off. So I don't think he'll feature against Wolves for sure. Van Dijk is still out. He's serving his second game for suspension. Talking back to the ref and leaving the pitch in an unprofessional
Mm.
manner. Has cost the team one game where we could actually use him. Ibu, his centre back partner, that we've liked to use Ibu and Van Dijk at the back together. They both out. Ibu's still injured, so he won't feature. Thiago's still out. He lacks match fitness, so we
The
won't
farmer
have
now.
the little creative maestro in the middle of the park.
Yeah, but he's old.
And
How many games has Thiago actually played for Liverpool?
you know,
Probably
it,
half of every season or less.
so this is the thing, Marcus. When he came from
Fine.
Bayern, there was all this hype about him, and when I watched him, I thought, geez, his
Skills.
first game, he had the most passes than any other player. Statistics on Optastats in
Mm.
any other player in the Premier League's history, and I was like, fuck, this is happening.
He's
This is
danger.
what we need. We need somebody to get the ball under pressure and move it quickly, and break through the lines with passing. But unfortunately, he's had a lot of time on the sidelines with injuries, and he's in his final year of his contract. And depends what happens this season. If he can stay fit and actually play more games, Liverpool might consider, signing him on for maybe a year or two, considering the amount of quality that we've lost in the midfield in terms of
True.
skill sets and obviously demographic age.
It
With
was
him.
Liverpool players, so there was no skill involved. Carry on.
You know what? Each player has a skill set that's different. Let's not go there.
What's
So
Hendo's? What's Hendo's skill set?
Hendo, he's a workhorse, and he's the captain. What
And
he
he's
did,
great at back passes. Amazing at back passes.
good at back
Brilliant.
passes, side
Best in the
passes,
game.
forward passes. You know, getting the players going, motivated. That
Yeah.
was his skill set. He's the
Interesting.
guy that went and put his arm around the guy and said, "Listen, fucking carry on. Let's run. You're out of position." Or
Yeah.
well done, mate. Keep going. He was the guy. And with all of that leadership qualities with him and Milner have left the club. I think keeping on Thiago in the club, especially if he stays fit, would be a wise move. Yeah, I don't know. We've been very unfortunate with injuries in the past. So at this stage, we only have 4 injuries. Touch wood. But for the most part, it's not long-term injuries, which is great.
Yeah.
They'll be back in training in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, looking good. Away to Wolves this weekend. Hoping to pick up another 3 points. We've started well, considering the season that we had last season. Our midfield is relatively new, and the boys have hit the ground running. Couldn't be more happier. So yeah, looking forward to the game. Happy that the Premier League's back, and yeah, predicting another win against Wolves.
Yeah, so you're playing Wolves away, right?
That's right. Yeah.
The Wolves, they were so unlucky against us. I'll be the first to admit that. They should have won that game. Somehow lost it to us. We didn't play well, but got the result. And then they haven't really played well after that. It's like they gave their
Yeah.
best performance in that game, and then they've struggled. So
They'll be
in
up for it.
theory, it should be a good result for you guys. But they're at home, and maybe they've had a good rest. Or I don't imagine all their players go to internationals. Probably half of them stay home. I may be wrong, but you'd think bulk of them are still together and have trained, and maybe a good rest for them. And then the other guys come back, and maybe they can put a performance together
Yeah.
and at least make it an exciting game.
Yeah, look, it's definitely every game in the Premier League's tough. You know what I mean? The Premier League speaks for itself. If you look at the log where everyone is at the moment and where everyone finished in the past season, you've got 6 contenders to win the league. Obviously Man United are not contenders. Let's be honest.
With Liverpool.
Man City for sure, the only team in
I
Manchester.
was waiting for you to say that. When you went quiet, I'm like, this guy's going to put a sly remark in here. Watch this.
You saw it coming, you saw the
No, I
curveball.
know you too well.
Yeah, so yeah, you know what I mean. There's a lot of tough teams. Chelsea, if they find their way, and they can actually do
Chelsea have a
facilitate.
better chance than United or Liverpool.
You know what? They've got an amazing squad, but whether
Yeah.
Poch can actually get the best starting 11 and get the best out of all the players? That remains to be seen, right?
I saw a
Um,
crazy stat the other day that Chelsea have had like the most shots and the most passes and another stat in the league this season. Yet they haven't got the results.
so was that shots on goal on target or
Mm,
just total
mm,
shots?
yeah,
Oh, on goal. That's interesting.
yeah. So I think I sent it in the. I don't know if I sent it in the fantasy group, but I saw it and I thought, "Well, that's quite a stat." I'm surprised they haven't got the results, but that's football, right? You don't always get
Yeah,
what you deserve.
that is what it is. So you know what? If Pochettino can get the best out of the players, Chelsea will be up there. Arsenal play amazing football; they'll be up
Mm.
there. Man United know all about it. Rubbing some salt into
Shut up,
recent
man.
wounds. Tottenham,
But
Tottenham are playing.
United held them 1-1 for 90 minutes at the Emirates. So that's decent, especially Arsenal that played well last
Yeah,
season and challenged for the title, choked, but challenged for the title nonetheless. And they've had a decent start. They just drew with Fulham. Otherwise, they've had a decent start to the season.
yeah,
And Arteta's been there. I think this is his fourth year or something stupid. So he's had time. He knows the players. They know his style. They should be performing. You know what I mean? It's like Klopp. They
yes,
should be
drafted the
performing.
squad.
So yeah, we 1 year in with Eric. We need another two or three to be in his groove, in his style of play. He has the players he wants. Every single player. Cool. So it takes time, but yeah, man, I think you're right. I think Arsenal will be up there. Obviously, City. I don't know
Liverpool
so much about Chelsea, Spurs. I mean, Ange's
playing
got
good
them
football
playing
at the moment.
decent,
Yeah,
but I don't know if they'll have enough. I think they might edge top four, otherwise, fifth or sixth.
yeah, I agree.
Um, United remains to be seen. I'm sure we'll turn around. Everybody always panics whenever United lose or draw or things don't go well. There's always drama and everybody overreacts. But yeah, United will be just fine. We'll be top four. Liverpool are top six or something.
So you rate that United will finish above Liverpool this season?
Yeah, all right. I still rate. I think I said that right in the beginning of the season before it even started, and yeah,
I'm just cross-checking you to see if you change your tune.
no, not a chance, not a chance.
I have to disagree with you, not because Liverpool's my team, but
Only
I do
because
think
Liverpool's your team. Because if you use
based
your sense, you would know that your team are not strong enough. But carry on.
based on the first four games performance, the midfield has
My cuz,
been.
let me stop you there. It's not how you start; it's how you finish.
So it's a marathon, right? So we
That's
can
right.
look forward to United drawing and losing a lot more games.
That's right.
That's right.
No, that's not right.
That's the clip right there. I got you finally.
I was just thinking, yeah, you can look forward to it. I wasn't listening to what you were saying. 100%. We can look forward to things changing over the season. There's going to be lots of hurdles, as you know, lots of twists and turns. United will go on a long winning streak, so don't worry about it. We'll be fine.
Well, you know what? We'll be chatting through all of the games. We'll be having this banter as we usually do. You predict Liverpool will finish below United. I say that Liverpool will finish above United. I think at the end of the season, we'll do a recap. We'll get a lot of our subscribers involved. And I think we will come up with something fun for the person that gets it incorrect. What do you say? Is that a
That
deal?
sounds good. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I like that. So tell
Awesome.
me, what's your starting lineup for this weekend?
Well, it's my keeper, of course, Onana.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
good. Cameroon, he did a little return to the international setup, and it was a winning return, which is great. So, of course, he'll be there. Everybody's doubting him. Dude, he's got a mixed match back four. So, don't worry about it. He'll be fine. He only conceded those goals when Maguire and Evans were on the field. I don't blame him. Jeez.
Scapegoats.
Not scapegoats, facts. By the way, going back to that, when I was at the Emirates and number 5 went up on the board of Maguire coming on,
The
the
Arsenal fans were
entire
chanting. They were singing.
home support started singing, "Oh, Harry Maguire." And I think we spoke about that in the reaction video. They were so happy that this dude's coming on because they knew, we have a straight path through to the goals. Awesome. Thanks, bud. Take off Martinez because he's injured. Take off Varane. Take off Lindelof. We'll just use Maguire and Evans and cool. We'll have a straight run at the goal. Shocking. But anyway, so it's going to be Onana. Wan-Bissaka right back. Oof, I guess I'm stuck here because Varane and Martinez are possibly out. If
Yeah.
Lindelof will play, hopefully Martinez is back so he can play there. Otherwise, man, we're stuck with Evans and Maguire. Or
I
it'll
hope
be
that's
Evans.
the pairing. I really hope that's the
No,
pairing.
it's not going to happen.
Brighton will tear Yokes apart.
They
Can't wait.
will. They will. So we need Lindelof in there. Hopefully that's with. Geez, I don't even know. I'll choose out of those two. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to get a youth under 21 player instead because those two fill me with zero confidence. Um, left back is going to be Regulon, I think. He'll come in for Shaw and Regulon and Shaw and Malacia while they're out. Midfield, I'm going to go with Case, of course. I think Ericsson will start and maybe we'll bring Amrabat on as a sub, 60 minutes or something. Or Ten Hag might say, Brighton are a very attacking team. Let's play with two number sixes, him and Amrabat, and just have Bruno up there to feed Rashford on the side. Hopefully Hoyland makes his full debut. And what do we do on the right? Because Sancho's been in the news. Anthony's not playing. Pellistri, though, we just signed him to extended his deal, so he signed a new long-term deal, so he might start. Yeah, we're a little bit all over the show. It's a little bit messy and so on, but I think that's going to be the starting 11. What about you?
Yeah, look, let me just touch on your starting 11. It's not the strongest against Brighton.
Oh, no, we need this
You
one.
are at home. It will be Brighton have been playing great attacking football, so I think it will be a great spectacle.
Got to watch that Ferguson. Man, that youngster, he's
Yeah,
dangerous.
I think depending on how he does this season, he'll probably get a big money transfer to one of the top four
Agreed.
clubs.
Agreed.
My side, obviously, safe hands, Becker. We've got some injuries and suspensions in our back line, so we'll probably go with Gomez on the right, Kwanzaa and Matip, two centre backs,
Kwanzaa
Wanga on
and
the left.
Matip. Oh, sounds rock solid, guys. Keep going.
He's a little bit slow, but he wins balls in the air, and he's a good ball carrier. He's got a good eye for a pass, which is what
Yeah,
I like. He breaks the lines with his passes. So yeah, so he has obviously pros and cons. He's definitely not a Konate and a Van Dijk, but he does a job. He's better than Evans and Maguire, that's for sure.
it doesn't take much, does it?
I don't know. I see Endo had a good international break with Japan. So I don't know if Klopp will start him in the defensive role or if he'll carry on with McAllister because he's been doing a
Mhm.
great job. He's a versatile player. Although I'd like to see McAllister playing a little bit more forward, like he did for Brighton. But that's one of the reasons why Klopp was so interested in him is because he's a versatile player, and that's the
Sure.
characteristics that Klopp looks for when he tries to buy players, right? So yeah, it's a tear up between Endo and McAllister in the number 6 role. But then obviously Sobosla, man, he's looking the part. It's relatively new to the team, but he seems to have taken Klopp's philosophy and yeah, he's hit the ground running.
Easy. It's
Um,
just been a couple of games. Easy there, Tiger.
no, from what I've seen, I'm not like other Liverpool fans that say this is the next Steven Gerrard. Like, let's hold on, let's give him some time. But
Yeah.
based on what I've seen, he's been solid. So yeah, I think he'll start. And it's a tear up, probably Jones. He's been quite solid, so he'll probably start as well. Diaz, definitely on the left, Salah on the right. And yeah, it's a tear up between Jota and Nunez. Against Wolves, I think that Klopp might go with Jota. It's the safer option. Gapko will be in the mix as well. So it's an interesting lineup. Can't wait to see. I can't wait for the game. It's obviously the early kickoff on Saturday morning, 12:30 in Lisbon time. So I can't wait for the game to start. Yeah, predicting another win for Liverpool, and can't wait for the game.
Yeah, I can't wait for it just to start. The great thing in the States and especially on the East Coast is 7:30 in the morning the game starts. So as I wake up, bang, it's a game on. Stick on some coffee, sit back, relax, and watch some football. It's a pity it's low quality football, Liverpool versus Wolves, but at least it's a 10 o'clock game that I can look forward to and go from there. And then just watch the 10 o'clock and the 12:30 and we're good.
What,
Um,
what, what's good about it is we play first, we get the win, and then you sit in anticipation thinking, oh shit, Liverpool have won now. My cousin's going to rag me if Man United don't get this result over the line.
no, I think it's not just my cousin. It's going to be the entire fantasy group and everybody else that just loses their minds every time United don't do well. It's quite mind blowing, but it's all fun, so it's good.
Yeah.
We bring that on ourselves, being the biggest, greatest, best club to ever exist. So it's normal.
So
Um,
delusional, cuz. So delusional. Nothing's changed with time.
yeah, oh my gosh.
So
Oh, awesome.
yeah, one thing I just wanted to touch on before we wrap up, the vlog was incredible.
Thanks.
Great job, conducting the videography and putting the music together. I see it's generated a lot of interest, a lot of views. Um, like we mentioned in previous episodes, it's something that we venturing into in the future. It's something we want to do. And yeah, our first ever guest on the show, Dimitri. I loved Rice Baby. You know, him little doing his little shuffle moves.
I had to get that on camera because he was having the time of his life.
I saw that. I saw that. And you ended up in all the local Arsenal pubs, all the supporter pubs, which not great for you. But the game was over. At least you could enjoy a
Yeah,
beer, some
that's there's
banter with
nothing
the
you can
guys.
do but just enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the environment, have a beer, relax, and carry on.
Yeah,
Some things you didn't see in the vlog was Dimitri actually got to meet a couple players.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that was Zinchenko came by and he saw him and Trossard. He actually went around and he's got a video of saying, "Hey Trossard,
It's my
say happy
birthday.
birthday to Dims." I think you saw that, and he's like, "Happy birthday, Dims,"
Yeah,
and he even signed his shirt for him. So that
I
was
saw
awesome.
that.
So yeah, good for him, happy for him, and yeah, now he's got toilet paper that's got a signature on it. So I don't know what he wants to do with that, but anyway, and yeah, man. So it was a good time.
He'll probably frame that shirt and remember the day that Mark came out to the Emirates and lost 3-1.
It's a long way to fly. It's a long way to go just to lose the game. But it's all about the experience, and I hope everybody got to enjoy the vlog and try and experience it through through my eyes, and it was cool.
Yeah,
We'll definitely do more of those. So stay in touch, and thanks everyone for supporting us. Really appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe. Share in the comments what you want to hear and anything that you'd like to ask us. Happy to answer it. And we'll do some more vlogs and we'll get some more guests on board. And yeah, thanks again. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one.
definitely. Well,
My
this has
cousin.
been great as usual, my cuz.
See
I
you
look forward
later.
to the next episode.
Definitely. Take care.
Take care.
Ciao.
Peace.